It's Darlington Raceway and practicing qualifying for the NASCAR Cup Series. We're looking right now at Austin Dillon, winner of last week's race at Daytona. It won his way into the playoffs. Group A has already been on track. This is Group B now that's on track. You see Group A's results. One of the playoff drivers in Cindric. You'll see the lines underneath the playoff drivers. Cindric was fastest in that Group A practice. Quite a few went out and made over 20 lap runs for their Group A run, and now Group B just into it. Right now 14 minutes 40 seconds to go still in Group B qualifying. And it was a win and you get in performance a week ago at Daytona for Austin Dillon, but it took him a rain delay to get there. This was late in the race and rain poured down in turn one. Right as the drivers were getting in there, the seas parted for Austin Dillon. He went down to the apron, but in the end, a little bump run and went right by the two and to victory lane. Austin Dillon has won twice at Daytona, and that one a big win for RCR. Now both cars for RCR in the playoffs, Austin Dillon and Tyler Reddick, alongside Dale Earnhardt Jr., Dale Jarrett, Rick Allen with you here for practice and qualifying.
Incredible weekend for the three, and coming into a race where I think he has some optimism. They've got some top 10 finishes at this track. It's a long race, and it's the kind of race where if you hang around long enough, you know, they used to say when you go to the road courses, just stay on the blacktop, you'll get a good finish. Well, if you just hang around, don't have any mistakes, a top 10 is there for just about anybody. They've proven this many times here at Darlington.
Yeah, if you do that, others are going to eliminate themselves. I'm not saying just simply because of crashes, but there's going to be mistakes made. They're going to pit at the wrong time, and then a caution's going to come out. Just think that people are going to put themselves in a position that you really didn't have to work hard to pass. Just do your job, stay in it, and then you find yourself moving on maybe to a more suitable place in the next 2 weeks to try to gather a lot of points or even a win.
Practice session gives us an opportunity to really handicap playoff drivers, one of those being Denny Hamlin. He's on a streak, 16 appearances for Denny Hamlin in the playoffs, and his best finish ever is second. I think that's the only thing right now that's missing from what Denny Hamlin has been able to do in a race car, and that's a championship.
This will be an interesting weekend for Denny Hamlin. He loves this racetrack, drives it kind of unlike anyone else. Everybody's starting to pick up on some of the things he does here, but you know, he's always one of the guys that you expect to see competing well at the end of the race and having a shot to win. Yeah, Darlington.
He's the modern day David Pearson. Yes. I mean, he really is. Yep. He drives it so much like him. You know, a lot of the same mannerisms and everything that they do, and that's just the way Denny goes about it. He's one of the best I've ever seen drive this racetrack.
I love the line that he runs. Parker Klingerman talks about it quite a bit. He never really uses the apron much into turn one. Yeah. That's kind of a common thing for a lot of guys that put the left front down on the apron into one. He kind of runs a little higher as we get later in the tire run or later in the race. He gets higher and higher entering one, and kind of makes that middle of 1 and 2 a straightaway in a sense. And then he'll exit off of 2 a car length above the typical groove. And I've watched him do that, and I did that in the last few races here in the Cup car, and it is a blast. And when you hit it right, especially late in the run, you fly down the back straightaway. And he figured that out before anyone else. No one would have ever went there. It would have never made sense to go there, but he did that. Shows what kind of talent he is.
Junior, this is going to sound crazy. I don't question the guy behind the wheel in the 11 or the crew chief on top of the pit box. My concern is the Southern 500 miles. That's 10 or 11 pit stops. And on and off pit road, driver speeding, wheels, pit stops, you name it. That has been the struggle for that 11 car. That's my concern for tomorrow afternoon versus this guy right here, Tyler Reddick. What a great shot. No, thank you. That's too close for me. I'll go back to the booth. You know, versus guys like the RCR crew. I think the 8 and the 3 have some of the best pit crews. So it'll be interesting to see if their pit crew can make up the difference and take the pressure off their driver when it comes to this long challenge of a race.
Yeah, you question, can he do this right against that wall and challenge, and with the speed and the way he goes about it, for 500 miles at Darlington? Logic would tell me no. But I said the same thing about him as he was winning Xfinity championships at Homestead.
Yeah.
going up against the wall before others were willing to go up and take that chance, and he did it lap after lap after lap.
Yeah.
And now he's got a body that will withstand a little bit more. I'm talking about the body of the race car. He's worked on his personal body, too, to be better physically, but I think his car can do that. So I really believe you're going to have to watch this young man tomorrow evening.
He is a risk taker. Listen into his radio.
One are still a little bit lower, longer after they land into one before they get up to the wall. And they're still about half a lane off of the hash marks, getting off of 2. Only one better than you right now is the 18 in front. He's a little higher earlier, entry of 3 to about the quarter mark, and then you're same place as him, center exit.
And when Tyler first got in the race car, he asked his spotter immediately what he had saw in that first group, some of the things they were seeing about how drivers were moving up their lanes as they got older tires there. One other thing Tyler said as he came down pit road there, he's loose on entry, on both sides, and just loose all the way throughout. So they're going to try and tighten up that 8 car right now, but still a lot of speed for being loose. And usually at Darlington, when you're loose, you're beating up that right rear tire, and it's not usually making speed. But as always, somehow Tyler Reddick finds a way to make speed right now, guys.
Yeah, engineers have done an amazing job with these cars to continue to make them better and better and better. Back in 1950, the pole was won at running 73 miles an hour average around this racetrack. These guys are running 170 miles an hour. They're almost 100 miles an hour a lap faster than when this track was built.
Watching Kyle Busch on the racetrack, and he is there's a lot of storylines around this guy.
Yeah.
Right now we're waiting on to figure out where he's going to race for next year. Is he going to stay with Toyota? What Toyota team that might be? He's going to to a different manufacturer. He says he's got a lot of offers on the table. I think I know where it's going to go, but it's still to be determined.
Are you keeping that?
Well, I said it a month ago. I think it's Colleague. I think he goes to Colleague. I think Colleague's the only guy that can pay him what he wants. And I think Colleague is a great opportunity for Kyle to go build something and help that team become a legitimate contender. If Colleague's serious, Colleague's spending the money. He's serious about this ownership. But he needs that veteran talent driver, that marquee #1 A guy. And this could change that organization if they were able to get Kyle.
Does he need to get that out of the way much sooner than later to be a threat for a championship?
I think so. I mean, I don't see how that can't. That's a distraction.
Yeah.
And I think even when they do make that announcement, still, will he get the best effort, right? Yeah. From everybody around him going forward to finish this series out.
William Byron is fastest right now in Group B. Still a little over 7.5 minutes to go. Group A, it was Austin Cindric and the 2 team as he looks on to a lot of the data there. Group A practice continuing from Darlington Raceway, just under 4.5 minutes to go. And Christopher Bell, as we see him here in the 20, Christopher Bell won at New Hampshire. Actually, Junior, you called that win at New Hampshire for him to lock himself into the playoffs. What are his possibilities of going on and getting a championship?
Multiple times in the year, this has been the best Gibbs car. Something about Christopher is sort of clicking, right? It's took a while. We all think he's very talented, but for some reason it's just been a little hard to get this 20 car running well as his teammates have over the last couple of years. But this year's been a good year for this team. Be interesting to see if they can keep it going. I think that considering what's going on with Kyle Busch, does some of the focus that would typically be with Kyle shift over to Christopher going forward? Because he's with the team long term, right? So you'd think they would definitely want to see success out of this 20 car throughout the rest of the year.
DJ Trackhouse Racing really came out of the gate about as impressive as you can be. Ross Chastain got his first ever win, then followed back up with a second win. What are his chances?
Chances are good. But obviously, they've had a little bit of a roadblock here lately. And, is part of that they are trying different things because being in this position for the first time, they understand that everybody steps up their game when it comes to the playoffs. But it's not like the crew chiefs can do what they used to, go build new cars and everything. You got what you got here now, kind of. But I really believe he's got some good racetracks to start off with, and I think that's really important that they perform well in this first round to give them that chance. They can go all the way to the championship 4, I believe.
DJ, you play a lot of golf. What is it when a golfer has a mental block? What do you call that?
a number of things. Some things I can't say right here.
So to me, that's kind of what this reminds me of.
Yeah.
He was very strong, and then became a bit of a focus.
Kind of had the shanks
and
for a little while here.
It's kind of like the last several weeks he's had the shanks, and he's trying to figure out what that is. And I think it's more mental than anything. I know that there's probably some things on the racetrack that have happened and some things with the car and so forth that are out of his control, right? But I also think that he's still trying to figure out where to be mentally in this position. He's never experienced anything like this. So it's just fascinating to watch him try to navigate the mental hurdles in this sport. And he's certainly had some steep ones and tall ones this year.
And the other thing about him right now is there are drivers that are talking about payback, and they said, well, we're going to wait until it means something, which now is the playoffs. But on the other side of that Trackhouse Racing is Daniel Suarez. Today, trying to get through technical inspection, they failed 3 times in a row, which means that their car chief was ejected. They won't be able to qualify. They don't have pit selection, and they have to do a pass-through penalty at the start of the race tomorrow. Now, with all of that being said, what do you think about his chances? Oh, Steve, I'm sorry. Steve, what do you think about the 99?
Well, to your point, I think the drive-through penalty is the biggest part of this. We've seen car chiefs ejected and things like that, but now this 99 car will have to take the green flag on the racetrack, and the next 2 or 3 laps do a pass-through on pit road, basically giving up a lap to the field. Now, if you get a quick yellow, he gets a free pass, kind of takes the penalty away, but this place can run green flag, and the last thing you want to do in your first trip in the playoffs is start race 1 a lap down to the field.
Yeah, and we see the beginning of these races a lot of times go caution-free, even through that first stage. So that could make the rest of the night even more difficult for them. It's very unfortunate they got themselves in this position and now have to start the first playoff race like this.
It's a long race, too. I mean, stage 1, 115 laps. Stage 2, 115 laps. They will have to stop in that stage to make sure to change tires, fuel. So it'll be difficult if an early caution doesn't come out for Suarez.
I look at these 2 sessions, A and B, and B is always typically slower, which it is again today. But if you see any of these guys in the B session in the top 10 lap time average, in the top 15 lap time average, that says that those guys have an incredible race car. There's a couple guys in there, Chastain being one of them, Denny Hamlin's another, that are in that top 5 overall in top 10, in lap 10, lap 15 average. So some of the things to look forward to. Look at that 99 car moving around off of turn 2 as the caution comes out, red and black in this session.
Practice over for both Group A and Group B. And that means that next up will be qualifying. We will set the field for tomorrow's race. It'll be 2 rounds as the drivers now debrief. Here's the combined Cup Series practice. Each group was out there for 20 minutes. Austin Cindric in Group A was fastest. William Byron in Group B was the fastest. You see those in yellow are playoff drivers, so a pretty good mix here. 6 playoff drivers in the top 10, 4 non-playoff drivers with good cars here for at least a lap. And one of those drivers that is on this list, even inside the top 5, Tyler Reddick, is standing by with Parker Kligerman.
Yeah, Rick, he was 4th. He's the 8th seed in the playoffs, your 2nd straight playoff appearance. So how do we tackle this start of this one?
I think we're in a pretty good place for qualifying. Our Lenovo Chevrolet takes off really, really strong. We start falling pretty quick. So we got to try and figure out what we need to do between now and maybe qualifying, between now and the first round, the second round, and just certainly for tomorrow. So yeah, we tried to stab at it and made it worse, so that's not good. But we know what we're trying to get. We're trying to get some more right rear grip, so we'll definitely be thinking about that as we qualify here. Maybe we can try an adjustment if we can make through the second round. They can give us some insight into what we need to do for our car tomorrow.
And for the fans out there that may not understand, so how can you as a driver affect that right rear grip? Can you? Is there things you could be doing that sort of gives that right rear a little bit more longevity?
Yeah, I mean, it's just, how aggressive you are on and off the throttle with the brake pedal, steering wheel, asking the vehicle to change directions, quickly is going to make that rear grip worse, whether that's in a straight line, accelerating or rotating, line placement, that sort of thing. So, yeah, we're kind of boxed in and running one line around there. I was trying to move it around where other cars were, and I couldn't do that. So we got some work to do, but it takes off good. So, I mean, it's not like we're totally out to lunch. we certainly got to figure out what we need to find to give our car that little bit more right rear grip that we're needing.
Well, you can definitely tell what's on his mind, guys. Finding that right rear grip, very narrowly focused on making that car handle better here as they go into their second playoffs together.
Yeah, thanks, Parker. All right, let's go to the Peacock Pit Box and our crew chief. Steve, what can they do or what can other teams do to try to find a little bit of speed or maybe make their cars better for the race tomorrow, but also qualify well?
Well, while practicing off pit road seems odd, this year it's become somewhat normal, and the crew chiefs have really adjusted to it. Basically, you have to leave 2 tires on the ground, so you can jack up the left or the right side, but those adjustments, the big one, this is going to sound crazy. It's just the height of the front of the car. We see the splitter way off the ground going down the straightaways. Well, moving that up and down moves the aero balance from tight to loose dramatically. So the overall front height of the car is a big thing. They can adjust sway bars. The biggest challenge for me is not really changing the balance. It's what do we do now that we go qualifying? So we went out there, and it's all about tire wear and managing the racetrack and all of those great storylines. And now we're going to expect these drivers to go out and pick up, I imagine, probably 1 second over what we saw in practice and race trim. So drivers, the real question I have is, how do you figure that out? This is a track, in my mind, that it looks faster than anywhere we go. The middle of 1 and 2 qualifying at Darlington from standing on pit road looks like the fastest track we go to. From a driver's standpoint, how do you manage what you have to go out now and find 1 second of lap time?
Yeah, you just, you go in the corner farther. You maybe you don't stay on the throttle much longer, but you don't slow the car down as much off into 1, and you hope that you get to you get to that entry and that extra grip is there, right? And then you got to recognize it fast enough to pick the throttle up earlier and then carry that speed off. And that's when it gets really tricky off of 2, because now you're carrying more speed there than you have all day, and you don't know whether it's going to stick or not. You'll see a lot of guys move around off of 2 or trying to turn down and exit 2, car slipping out from under them. They'll use, if they have to lift there, hurts them all the way down that back straightaway.
Yeah, I'm interested to see if anybody takes the shorter way around in turns 3 and 4 and goes to the bottom of the racetrack. With new tires, sometimes you can do that, and just being that shorter way, and you can allow yourself to drive straighter on the exit of turn 4 for that 1 lap instead of being right up against the wall. But are you having to slow these cars down too much to make that work and be beneficial?
So here's the pace. This will be what everyone will be looking at and determine off of. The first car that was on track, 29.60.
I think with the downshifting, or the ability to downshift in 3 and 4, it doesn't mean you have to run the top of the racetrack. You can certainly downshift and use that extra gear to pull you back up out of the hole, slowing down to run the bottom.
0.2 of a second improvement for Brad Keselowski over what he practiced. A far cry from what Steve was saying, searching for that second.
He'd have got a stern talking to from Stevie, wouldn't he?
I made the car faster. Here's Corey LaJoie out on track now, and you see in the red as far as comparing to Brad Keselowski. Again, the top 5 from each group will advance to the second round of qualifying, so that's what they're going for. They want to be in the top 5 of this first group in qualifying.
He goes fast.
Yeah.
1 lap. They're sending guys out on the track as the one before you's crossing the finish line.
Here's Daniel Hemrick in the 16, another colleague entry, and Daniel running full time in the Xfinity Series, trying to defend his championship from a year ago. He'll be racing later this afternoon in the Xfinity Series race here at Darlington.
You can see right there how important that exit that Dale Jr.'s been talking about off of turn 2 and carrying that speed. He lost speed all the way down the back straightaway there, just simply because he didn't quite get off that exit in the proper position.
Made it all back, though, in 3 and 4. Did a really good job putting down a solid lap, I believe.
29.64, fastest so far. Now Todd Gilliland, another one of the rookies out here on the racetrack.
This young man's really, really talented. He runs it really good at so many different tracks, and it's going to be interesting to watch his career progress as he goes through and tries to become better and understanding of these races and these longer races more.
Gilliland off turn 4. He'll see the checkered flag for his qualifying lap, and it'll slot him 3rd of the 4 that have gone. Gilliland and this young man, Harrison Burton, good friends off of the racetrack, as Harrison Burton now on his qualifying lap. Parker?
Catching up here with Christopher Bell on pit road. We were watching the big screen. I've brought my camera over screen so you can watch it now. What are you looking for out there?
Yeah, just, I don't know, looking to see what lines they run. I'm pretty committed and kind of know what I'm going to do out there, but just interesting to see what they do. And I don't know, it's hard to tell if you're slipping or sliding around in these cars, but yeah, just trying to study all I can.
I've got 2 questions. How much throttle are you going to carry through 1 and 2? I've heard you don't have to lift all the way. And top or bottom in 3 and 4?
Yeah, so 1 and 2, we qualified well, or I qualified well here last year, and I thought that maybe we were going to have to go wide open through 1 and 2 this year, but with the temperatures, I don't think it's going to happen. So it's going to be a matter of how much throttle you can carry through there, which is my favorite type of qualifying.
All right, we'll see. We'll take an eye on this 20 car. See how much throttle you can really carry there. Maybe you can hold it wide open. Who knows?
I don't think you answered the question.
He dodged the second part of that, and that's for good reason, because I think there are options down there.
Yeah.
We watched Harrison Burton, much like Ty Dillon here, running the very top of the racetrack. The cars before them have ran the middle of 3 and 4, and I've noticed that that's actually been a little quicker. Ty Dillon and Harrison sliding up the track. It's cost them a little bit of time in 3 and 4, so we'll see if that trend continues as the middle group being the best.
Yeah, Harrison was trending in the green until he got into turn 3, and when you, like you said, he washed up the track in 3 and lost that that 1/10 of a second that he had over what Hemrick has run. So Hemrick fastest at 29.64. Now Almirola trending in the green here.
You know, one thing you always have to be careful of here in going to qualifying. So we talk about that speed that's potential there in turns 1 and 2. Well, all of a sudden you're carrying more speed into turn 3 than you have before. So if you go driving off and thinking you can get a little bit more, well, you've already have more speed, and so there just might not be the grip to match that.
It compounds as Almirola goes to the top of the chart now at 29.60. And now we'll start to compare to Ty Dillon. Again, the top 5 will advance to the second round of qualifying from each group, as Cole Custer on track. Another one of the Stewart-Haas racing cars.
Eric also ran a little bit higher than what the first few cars did in 3 and 4, but he made it work. We gained a lot of time on corner exit.
Custer a 1/10 of a second off, a little over that of what Almirola has run. That puts Custer 6th outside of that top 5. Here comes Eric Jones in the Petty GMS entry, and Dave Ellen's crew chief for this team, and I think they've had a very solid year. Eric Jones has put together some pretty good performances. The car seems to be better this year.
You're talking about non-playoff guys. He's a guy that could run really well this weekend, and so it'll be interesting. He'll be in some tough situations around the playoff drivers, because I think he's going to run the top 10, top 5 all night.
That's a great lap right here for Eric.
Yeah, really great lap to the top, and nothing else. Even if he finishes up in the top 10, he's taking points away from those other guys.
Still looking to make it into the top 5 for this first group of qualifying from Darlington.
First group qualifying here at Darlington underway. Martin Truex Jr. the next car to go on the racetrack, and the last of the non-playoff cars to go out on the racetrack. So now that we're into the playoff teams will be split reasonably evenly. It's a little bit odd right now because we have Bubba Wallace in the team championship as well for the owner's title. But basically those 16 or 17 with Bubba Wallace in are put in their own category, then divvied up by the metric of last week, and then evenly split between Group A and Group B, and then they'll go at the end. The whole idea is that both groups have an even amount of playoff cars, and that they all go at the end of qualifying to make sure the track is as close as it can be for each car in the same group. And guys, for me, I love it because I think it adds drama, right? As we get farther and farther into the playoffs and we continue to do this down to 12 and then 8 drivers. Think about that final round when 4 go in each group, and they're going to see who can get the best qualifying run, although this is my sleeper, Dale Jr. I have Martin Truex Jr. to win and ruin it for all the playoff guys this weekend. Parker.
Well, Steve, one of the cool things here on Pit Road with this format is you get to watch the teams and the drivers look at their data and all these things in the pit boxes. I'm here with Ross Chastain, and I was looking at you, and you were doing this movement a lot. This one right here, that sort of thing. So did I read that right, that you're a little loose right now?
Yeah, Parker. Our Worldwide Express Chevy got really loose at the end of that run, so we expected it a bit, but it was a bit much for my liking.
Gotcha, and that's all right. So we're going into qualifying here. What do you have to do? What do you have to do in 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 to maximize your starting position?
Be brave in 1 and 2 and not do what I did in the big machine car in the Xfinity qualifying this morning in 3 and 4, where I completely blew 3 and 4. So both in practice and in qualifying, my commitment level in the 48 car far exceeded the grip level of the Xfinity cars. So yeah, in the Cup car, just tie all that together a bit more. Time my downshift, even as simple as coming back and forth, and the H pattern to the 5-speed. It's something I really work on to have my muscle memory right, and it's scary to think I could go the wrong way. So
trying to keep that clean. Does that just make this one of the most difficult places that we go to because of that grip level, where you can exceed the grip level as a driver?
Oh my gosh, it's so much fun. Now that I'm out of the car, at the end of that practice run, I was like, it's warned me twice. I'm going to crash. Like, I need to stop. I'm done. Like, get me out. And we'd tighten the thing up and go race our 500 miles tomorrow night.
Guys, I think that's the thing about this place, friends. Drivers, we love it when it's going right, but there's sometimes it can be so frustrating when it's going wrong.
And we just saw Bubba Wallace complete that lap. A reminder, the 45 is in based on the Owners' Championship. Kurt Busch withdrew his waiver as far as his eligibility as a driver to be involved in the championship, but the car is still able to win a championship. So that's why the 45 is in, and Bubba Wallace is driving it. 2311 has said they want to put their best foot forward. Speaking of best foot, the 9 of Chase Elliott now on track, and he's going to be chasing after his teammate, who, by the way, put up a ridiculous lap.
Yeah.
Kyle Larson put up there.
Yeah, and Bubba followed right in there, just barely losing out. Chase had it, but lost a little.
Well, he was.
We're also comparing to 5th there, so Chase Elliott didn't even make it into the top 5.
Yeah,
Everybody's scratching their head a little bit,
yes.
right? I'm scratching mine over this 9 car. I expected him to come in here and contend, and I mean, he still obviously can, but not seeing the qualifying pace. Didn't see great pace in practice either.
I just thought that he was going to end up 3rd. When I say had it, I thought that he was on pace just to get himself fixed in there that would probably move him on to the next round there, but totally lost it in 3 and 4.
Now it's Briscoe's turn. He's in the green compared to Almirola. We're going to compare to 5th now. Parker?
Well, guys, one of the things I think that we might be seeing these times pick up is there's just a cloud cover that's come over this racetrack in the last couple of minutes, and it just has seriously cooled down. I'm standing on pit road, and the entire front stretch is covered in the cloud, now 1 and 2. And I just listened to Chase Elliott come across the radio as we watched Chase Briscoe slot in the top 5, and he basically said he thought 1 and 2 was good, but he lost all his time in 3 and 4, and that they just missed it. And Alan Gustin let him know, yes, we definitely did. We were slow.
So I always had this discussion and a little bit of an argument about how long does this actually take? A cloud comes over. How much of it is in a driver's mind, and how much is the track? Because the track is a certain temperature. So how long does it have to be over before it actually really cools that surface down?
Right.
I think it's more mental in a driver's mind that, hey, I've got a better track.
But maybe a degree, maybe 2 degrees can help you.
It's a good little lap right here with Blaney.
Just think about it. Yeah.
This is going to be a great lap.
Lost a little bit of time on corner exit, but still good.
Blaney in based on points. He is the only of the 16 that has not won this year.
Hey, Rick, I'm noticing, and this is going to be interesting right here with Kevin Harvick. I know Joey Logano won here in the spring, and this is a track where you kind of get out of the gas and use the brakes. So Joey had mentioned he had some confidence coming back here. But the Fords in general, the Blue Ovals, in my opinion, have brought something here to Darlington. They looked a little bit better in practice. I wasn't sure if it was real or a little bit of make-believe, being in the right group at the right time. But as we see Blaney with a good lap in 3rd, and now Kevin is going to try to get this thing back to the line. I think he'll be able to do it. I like these Blue Ovals. I think the Fords have found a little something here to start the playoffs.
Just outside the top 5. 6th for Harvick. Lost it there in the center of 3 and 4.
Yeah, just didn't have the comfort he's looking for when he's trying to go back to gas there. Now we're riding with Logano, winner of the race here earlier this year. Didn't really see his number up on the lap 5, lap 10, lap 15 average. So be curious where the speed is here for qualifying. Looking really good right now.
Yeah, this driver makes up for a lot of their deficiencies along the way at times. Not saying that they are always down on speed, but they've got a driver that just gets the job done week in and week out.
That's the line, the Joey Logano line. He entered higher than anyone else in the 3, turned the corner, down the racetrack he came.
Fastest lap turned.
Wow.
No one ran that line in 3 and 4 that Joey Logano just ran.
Here comes Austin Cindric, the final competitor in this Group A qualifying, looking to knock Eric Jones out of that top 5 so he can get to the second round. He's in the green and the right direction right now for Cindric. Cindric, William Byron, the 24-year-olds fighting for a championship, their first championship.
Yeah, that was a good entry there, too. You could see he carried speed through the center, didn't lose much there, and a great exit speed. Nice lap.
Cindric bumps Eric Jones out, so it's Logano, Larson, Wallace, Cindric, and Blaney all in the top 5.
Welcome back to Cup Series qualifying here from Darlington. Group A just concluded. These are the top 5 that will advance, led by Joe Logano and Ryan Blaney there in 5th at the cut line. But now going into Group B, want to catch one of the playoff drivers, Denny Hamlin. So you're watching a lot of SMT. You're watching those drivers late. The speed started to pick up. What did you notice as we got to the end of that Group A session?
Yeah, just trying to gauge, how much extra gas you run it through 1 and 2 versus what we get. We've looked at all the data we can look at. Now we just got to go out and execute, and hopefully we got the adjustments, tuned up on this Sport Clips Toyota.
You are so good here. You have one of the most unique lines down in 1 and 2. Dale Jr. and I have been talking about it. Does this car still fit some of those strengths of yours? Do you still get to use some of those things that you've done so well over the years?
Well, it definitely worked better with the old, before they paved that patch in turn 2, but you still can find speed up there at the right time. It's just really a matter about getting out of the wake of the other cars at all costs, and so sometimes that means you got to run an unorthodox line.
I know you got out of the Xfinity car because of soreness from the wreck at Daytona last week. How are you feeling after being in the car in practice?
Yeah, quite a bit better, and every day's gotten better since Wednesday or so. So I just want to really concentrate on going out there and giving our best run for 500 miles here. As you know, this 500 miles here is no joke, so you got to be 100%.
This is a tough one. As you guys know, this is Darlington, one of the most tough races you can do physically.
Yaley, Buscher, both. Yaley was out first at a 29.86. Buscher trending in the green. More racing coming up this afternoon right here on USA. Countdown to green at 2:30. Then Xfinity Series racing. It's a short one, a quick one. You're going to want to be here for it. NASCAR America post-race show at 5 o'clock, and then race for the championship at 5:30. What a great show. Diving in deep to the Cup Series and racing in this series.
Yeah, the reception to the first installment was really, really good. I was excited to see how happy fans were with that. It is a great kind of behind-the-scenes look at the drivers' lives and what they're like, man. We really need that. We need to be able to show these guys and girls and everybody in the sport what living in this sport is like, what the challenges are, and how committed the drivers are to succeeding. And it's been missing for years as far as really that behind the scenes, behind the curtain look.
Yeah, I think a lot of people forget that these warriors out here are also family members.
Yeah, just humans.
Yeah,
it
that's
humanizes
right.
each one of them, and the challenges that you face trying to put all of that together and have a normal life that's not really normal.
That's right, an abnormal normal life. Parker.
Well, guys, catching up here. The winner from last week, Austin Dillon, who also has a show, Life of Fast. You can check his behind the scenes of his world. But, man, I got to ask you, because I know it's a big win, but it's not one of those wins you get a lot of time to celebrate. Now you've got to put the playoffs hat on and go out here and compete in the playoffs. What do you experience in practice?
Well, the car, we took off a little tight, so we're trying to make a good adjustment to go fast in the short run right here. And we had a right front going down, so that probably had something to do with that. But just go get it right here. The BetMGM Chevy felt okay. You got to send it into turn 1 and hopefully make it out the other side of 2.
And talk to me about your mentality this first round. I mean, you guys make it in at the last possible way, last possible chance. So is this like a nothing to lose situation?
Well, it's survive in advance, right? Like, do what it takes to get to the next round. And yeah, I mean, I'm feeling pretty light. Like, I'm ready to go have some fun and run 500 miles of Darlington.
You can tell down here these guys are just having fun in this 3-car being part of playoffs.
That lap by McDowell is the fastest lap turn today. So maybe that cloud cover is doing something not only mentally but also for these cars.
Yeah. Oh, it is now, yeah.
Yeah, I think that's it. I mean, McDowell has ran great here. Nothing to take away from that 34 team. They're doing a great job, but we do have a lot more clouds in the sky. It's, you know, keeping this track cooler.
Ricky Stenhouse Jr. And he'll be third quickest. Again, the top 5 will advance to the second round of qualifying.
I saw Ricky do something I hadn't seen. He was the slowest kind of getting up to speed, saving his tires. We talk about that. Just even pushing the car around, joking about that. But he was halfway down the backstretch before he really started picking things up to try to get up to speed. Don't know if that was the exact right thing or not.
Cody Ware, a part of actually a big payday for a few people that decided to make a gamble on a couple guys, but Cody Ware, a 6th place finish a week ago at Daytona. Landon Castle, Noah Gregson, and BJ McLeod all had career best finishes, and you think about that, somebody picked those guys to be in the top 10 and almost won $1 million.
Incredible. I mean, it's great for these guys that they were able to miss all of that, do their jobs, you know, race there at the end. But yeah, there was one gentleman out there that won a lot of money.
I want to make sure people heard you correctly. They did win nearly $1 million.
Yes,
that's correct.
Yeah,
and only put up $13.
Yeah, just under $1 million. It was $990-some thousand.
You may sound like, man, they almost won it.
No.
Yeah.
Okay, you're right. Yes, they did win almost $1 million.
Yeah.
But yeah, pretty impressive. But it was great finishes for BJ McLeod was a part of that as well, finishing in the top 10 at Daytona. You see him on the clock now, the owner driver. And BJ takes the checkered flag at a 30-10. So you see Kurt Busch on the windshield of the 23. The 2311 team has made swaps. So Bubba Wallace is now in the 45 running for the Owners' Championship. But Ty Gibbs is still going to be subbing for Kurt Busch. He's just going to be running the 23 now for 2311.
Not confusing at all.
Not at all, no.
Gosh, I just think about how difficult everything has been for this young man to step into this. Is the good job he's done. But a lot of these young drivers, we talk about them, Harrison Burton and others, trying to learn these difficult racetracks, these cars with no more practice. I mean, you know, we used to come down here and test for 2 days, you know, and just drive different cars and feel, and just incredible they're able to come here and do this now just from a simulator and what their engineers and crew chiefs tell them to go do.
There's Landon Castle behind the wheel of the 77.
Landon running full-time in the Xfinity Series for Colleague. Getting a couple extra laps, and great qualifier. One of the best qualifiers I think we have in the NASCAR Top 3 Series.
I think everybody realized, we used to talk about it a lot, but when he got in Morgan Shepherd's car, remember, and did some qualifying, I mean, and put that car in the top 15 a couple of times, I believe. Just shows just the incredible talent that he has to go fast.
He's been around for a long time. The 33-year-old Landon Castle slots in 5th right now. It'll be a fight to get into the top 5 here in Group B. Plenty more action from right here at Darlington Raceway today. Countdown to green for the Xfinity Series at 2:30, then racing at 3. 5 o'clock NASCAR America post-race show, and race for the championship at 5:30. And the Labor Day weekend continues tomorrow. The IndyCar Series, it will be their second to last race and a very tight point battle right now. Will Power, Joseph Newgarden separated by just 3 points. Again, Portland tomorrow at 3 o'clock. Countdown to green on USA for the Cup Series and Cup Series racing. The 500 miles from Darlington at 6 o'clock. NASCAR America post-race show at 10. And again, another run of race for the championship at 10:30. That's tomorrow as qualifying continues. Christopher Bell now out in the number 20. And these will be all playoff drivers that will be taken to the track now. We'll see how they compare to Group A. Wanting to be in the top 5, excuse me.
Sorry. If this team can iron out, say, from all kinds of things that just seem to happen to them, Dale Jr. mentioned during practice that a lot of the time they are the fastest Gibbs car. But if they can iron out all of those things, this is somebody that could be in the round of 8 and have the opportunity to move into the championship 4, I believe. He's a talented driver. They just have to eliminate those things that keep them from moving forward.
Well, if you look back to a year ago, Kyle Larson ultimately won the championship on the very last pit stop.
Yeah.
His team got his car out in front of the 11 of Denny Hamlin, just, a split second faster, and he ends up winning the championship. As we see now, William Byron, the other 24-year-old, part of the playoffs this year.
And we saw speed in this car in practice, and Williams had a bit of a struggle here over the last several weeks in the series. Came out of the box pretty strong earlier in the year, but struggling now, and come back to a racetrack I think suits him well. This reminds me, I think it might remind him of some of the super late model tracks he's been running at this year. The surface, the grip, the tire fall off, the conservation of the tires and so forth. I think this fits him well. It's a great chance for him to sort of rebound, get their season back on track.
It's really a change of philosophy that's happened at Hendrick Motorsports, and I think it happened when Kyle Larson came over there. The drivers are racing other disciplines. They're able to go out in a late model or dirt track racing like Kyle Larson does so much of. As we see now, Ross Chastain after his qualifying lap.
Something that's happening here that Dale Jr. brought up during the practice, that if you see drivers that were part of Group B up there close in times to what Group A was, they're generally going to be in a good position, and we're seeing some faster times here already by that happening. So it's a good point to bring up, that the track's never quite as fast in that Group B.
Right now, the sun beating down on almost every inch of this racetrack as Denny Hamlin, one of the best here at Darlington, comes out for his qualifying run.
Oh.
He barely had the final there, wasn't he, DJ?
Yeah, man. Get your heart racing right there.
Still in the red, comparing to Christopher Bell right now, who's number 1. Tenths of a second slower, and that's going to put him 4th, which will be in jeopardy of staying in that top 5.
I'm not sure if that downshift in the middle in 3 and 4 was planned, or if that was
weird.
He got a little loose, DJ, reached over and got 4th gear.
Yeah.
Here comes Alex Bowman on the clock now. Oh, into the wall. So Bowman, in his qualifying run, going through 1 and 2, up into the wall. And he's currently 0.3 of a second off. Trying to get a little too much out of the first 2 corners here. And he's 0.4 of a second, almost 0.5 of a second off of what we have seen out of Christopher Bell so far. All right, so definition of a Darlington stripe. Is that a Darlington stripe or is that a mistake?
That's a stripe, man. That's perfect. That's the perfect kind of Darlington stripe. You hit it and you keep going.
Okay, no, the guy down here doesn't agree. I mean, maybe a lap, maybe a mile 400.
Well, you didn't. Hey, now, okay, we can get particular and say in qualifying you don't want to hit the wall.
Okay,
but
there you go. No. On a serious note, guys, what'd you think right there? You think they're going to have to go to the back and look at those? We've seen those different mechanical parts continue to fail. I don't think it hurt the body, but would you want to take the tires off and take a look at it? You're the driver, or do you say, it'll be fine, let's start the race?
Oh, he bounced off of there twice pretty hard, I thought.
I think we're going to take a look at it. Long race, a lot of opportunities to gain that back.
That's why you and I were a good combo. I agree with you, Dale Jr. We take the tires off and check this thing out, Parker.
Well, Steve, catching up here with William Byron. And William, we were just having a conversation about 3 and 4 because you and I have practiced a little bit of iRacing sometimes as you get ready for these cup races, and there's a big difference in real life to iRacing, apparently.
Yeah, I mean, iRacing was great this week. I did probably 1,000 laps with my one of my drivers on there, Nick Ottinger, and big thanks to him. We've been fast so far, and the one spot of the track is turn 3 that's just a little bit different, so just adapting to that. But car's been good, and definitely those laps during the week were a big help.
And we talked a little bit about the grip of this racetrack and just how it changes so much. We had the cloud cover, now the sun has come back out. Do you feel those differences, just those minute cloud cover?
Yeah, you definitely do. Like, you're sitting in the car down there at the end of pit road, you're praying for a cloud. So it's like, come on, just get a little bit darker. And unfortunately, we didn't get one, but hopefully this next round we'll maybe get a cloud, and that would help us out a little bit.
DJ, I don't know if that changes your thesis on the clouds, but it sounds like it might be worse up.
No, it's all in the mind. And you put a driver's mind in the right spot, they do amazing things.
We'll see what Tyler Reddick can do. And again, still comparing to Bell, but wants to be in the top 5 here, wants to be faster than Hamlin.
A good exit.
That's going to be pretty close, but will be. Oh, so Reddick bumps Hamlin out of the top 5.
What a run for McDowell.
Yes, great lap for Michael McDowell.
I think that's a surprise for Kyle Busch for me. You know, watching practice and just kind of thinking about where he is this year, that's a good sign for that team.
Logano, Larson, Wallace, Cindric, and Blaney out of Group A. And now Bell, Byron, Kyle Busch, McDowell, and Reddick out of Group B. They will be fighting it out for the pole and those top 10 starting spots.
You have to be willing to go to work and to go to fight and to have that hunger to win.
Bring it home. Hell yeah, boys. What a fight. DFH. That's what I'm talking about. Great work, man. Get some, boys. Yeah. That's what you get, buddy. Woo.
Let's take a look at 11th through 36. This will be the starting order. Again, the drivers in the playoffs in yellow. Denny Hamlin, the fastest that did not advance into the second round of qualifying. And again, a reminder, Suarez, you're going to see him at the bottom. He was not able to qualify because they failed pre-race technical inspection 3 times, so lost his pit selection. Also will lose Suarez down there in the DNQ. They will have to come down pit road at the start of the race tomorrow. Parker.
Rick, I'm hanging out with Michael McDowell down here after that great lap to get yourself into the final round here of qualifying. Did you know how fast it was when you were doing it?
Well, it felt really fast when I was out there, but, obviously track picked up some grip there, cloud cover, but, this freight auctions Ford Mustang was fast off the truck. Pretty good long run speed, too. Obviously had decent short run speed there, too. So I'm really proud of everybody up front row. We missed it by 1 spot the first time here at Darlington, making it to the second round. So nice to make it to the second round and see if we got a shot for the pole.
Hey guys, it is a really impressive lap, but I want to take a quick walk here of my cameraman Goat, just real quick to show you something on the right rear of the 38-4 machine. That scuff, the Darlington stripe. When did he do that? The first lap of practice. This place, it's just tough.
It's going to happen. I think all these guys at some point are going to have one of those on their race cars.
Yeah. They're resilient. We're going to set the top 10 when we come back. Who will win the pole for the Southern 500?
This championship fight is tight. The last one at Belle Isle is won by Will Power.
Oh, God.
Within whispering distance of the championship. This man's on a mission. That's his 5th win on the season.
Great job, guys.
Scott Dixon chasing his 7th IndyCar championship.
Did it, buddy. You just won the Indy 500.
I can't believe it. I'm so happy.
There has never been in the history of IndyCar competition a Spanish champion. Alex Palou is his name, and he is the first. It is the closest championship fight in the last 20 years.
As Lee Diffie was just talking there, 7 drivers still mathematically eligible for that championship, and the penultimate race will be tomorrow at Portland on NBC, the NTT IndyCar Series racing there at 3. Countdown to green at 5 o'clock. The Southern 500, 6 o'clock here on USA for the Cup Series, NASCAR American Post Race Show, and race for the championship around that day out at 10 and 10:30. Steve.
So, Rick, this final 10 is going to be pretty interesting because surprisingly, all 5 cars from Group B were faster than the best car from Group A. So was it just by chance the fastest cars here were in Group B? Did the track get better with the cloud cover that you guys mentioned a few times? Seems like the cloud cover has moved out. The track is pretty sunny right now, so I would call it even up at the moment. So very interested for me to see, you know, are we still going to see this advantage from the Group B drivers, or is it going to kind of all even up right here?
We will see. And again, the fastest 5 from Group A and the fastest 5 from Group B will take on this 1 1/3 racetrack, as Blaney will be first out on the track.
The only thing harder than running a qualifying lap here is having to do it a second time.
No kidding. You know, you're exactly right, because the tires won't have as much grip. The balance is going to change somewhat. It's either going to go tighter or a little bit looser. And you don't know the answer to none of that. And you got to go into turn 1, hopefully about as fast as you went the first time, and make quick adjustments really fast when you start learning all that information in less than a second as you enter up toward the wall in the middle of 1 and 2. But watch as we ride on board Blaney here. You're even like going to the throttle and changing the throttle position. Wow, wow. He's really trying to learn everything he can to try to maximize speed through there, but not do too much, not get himself in trouble and get in the fence.
That end was relatively smooth.
2026 is what he ran in the first round. How close will he be in the second round? Blaney runs a 29.44, so about 0.2 of a second slower.
And no one should, in theory, go quicker in the first round. So seeing that 0.2 lost, I'm not shocked by that. I think somebody might
get closer.
Yeah, somebody might get it closer and not lose 0.2, but you expect to lose some.
I'd have to think that a 20, somewhere around a 20, win the pole. They may get a little more out of it than that, but if they do, they've really done a job.
The 28.97 was the fastest lap by Christopher Bell, and now we see Cindric. He's in the green. Yeah, a good lap here.
Lose a little bit right there, but really good job.
I'm going to take the under on Dale Jarrett's 29.20.
Okay.
I think that second group had some really impressive laps. Now, if this cloud cover was the magic, I'm going to be completely wrong.
We'll see what Bubba Wallace has. Again, driving the 45 now, looking for the Owners' Championship. And he and crew chief Booty Barker have come over here to the 45. A few crew members and pit crew have also swapped positions. They want to put their best foot forward for the final 10 races of the season.
Bubba ran a 19 in his first run.
Pretty good lap here.
Goes 29.43. Again, another about 0.2 of a second slower lap than what they were able to run in the first round. See what Kyle Larson has. Kyle Larson, the reigning Cup Series champion, was in the green when he entered turn 1, but then lost a little bit of it through the center.
And when you lose right there, you can see you just don't ever make that up. I mean, on the exit of that corner.
Really deep into 3. Can he make it stick? Nope. Going to lose a little bit here. Coming back the other way, though.
Larson posts a 29.35.
So far, like we mentioned, about 0.2 slower for everyone.
Joey Logano ran a 29.14. We'll see if he can do a little bit better than that 0.2 of a second loss and try to steal the pole away from Austin Cindric. Oh, right up against the wall.
So close. On a new pavement right there. Newer pavement than the original surface he's on now. Big giant patch all the way through turn 2. A little bumpy. Right now trending really well.
Yeah, he's able to pick that throttle up right in the middle there.
It's going to be a great lap.
Oh,
to the top, 29.
I lost already.
Good work, Steve.
Nice job there, Joe.
Thank you, Joey Logano.
29.18, so the under so far, but can he hang on to that spot? 5 have gone in the second round of qualifying and only 5 more to go. Can anyone upset Joey Logano now, who won the pole for the race in May here? Can he back it up and sweep the poles at Darlington? So the next out onto the racetrack will be Tyler Reddick, a guy known to run right up against the wall. But that might not be the fastest. All right, predictions. Steve already made his prediction and was successful. He said it was going to be under a 29.2. Can anyone outdo what Logano has run?
Well, I don't think so. I don't.
You don't think
I think that this break, we'll see right now, but I think this break is not a good thing.
Okay.
But,
yeah, I don't think it happens either.
Well, I don't know. Take it back.
Look at this.
Reddick got a pretty good little 1 and 2 there.
Losing a little bit. We'll see how far he goes into 3.
Good downshift. Hard back to the gas. Not able to commit, and you can see the time drop there. You can hear him like trying, and just trying to go to the throttle. Just couldn't make it happen. But hey, I think he showed us that it's not a lock, right? I think that showed me right there that maybe Christopher Bell, Byron, even Kyle Busch could do it. I don't know if McDowell can.
I don't know. Is it the fact that, I mean, we saw how fast he went through 1 and 2. Did he just use up so much of the tire there that you don't have enough left down in 3 and 4?
Gosh, it's like he hit the wall, but
I did that too. I was like, oh my gosh, they're close to the wall when they enter 1.
My goodness.
About a 1/10 of a second as he goes into 3.
Little bobble there, big moment. Just driving his car for everything it's worth. But it's going to cost him a little lap time.
McDowell right now 7th, 29.46. We'll see what Kyle Busch and the Toyota have. M&M's before the season started mentioned they would no longer be coming back with Kyle Busch or Joe Gibbs Racing in 2023. So their final year as a sponsor, one of the longest sponsors in NASCAR.
And I don't think any of us had any idea. You know, sponsors come and go. They've been around a long time. I don't think we anticipated where this situation would be at right now.
To the point where Kyle Busch not secured for a ride in 2023 yet. Logano watching on. And this one's going to be a 1/10 and a half slower than what Logano has run. So Kyle Busch slots in 3rd.
Really good lap, though.
2 more drivers can take Logano off the top. Will it be William Byron?
Well, could you imagine a William Byron, Joe Logano front row at Darlington? That would be pretty good.
Why wouldn't it be like
round
that?
2?
Well, this sport seems to go a lot of the time.
He's going to have to pick it up here on corner exit and gain some of this time back. Gave up a little bit on entry, not able to really do it, but still hanging in there tight.
So, DJ, I'm about to give you a statistic that you were a part of, at least you were there for. The last time that someone has swept the poles at Darlington, the May race and then the Labor Day race, happened in 1992 with Sterling Marlin, 30 years ago.
Wow.
Could Logano do it for just the second time in those 30 years? Christopher Bell, the final one that can knock him off the top.
Bell doesn't know that, doesn't care about that. He just knows that he's got a fast race car right now, and if he can put down this great lap once again, a lot of speed there.
In the green as he enters one.
Wow.
Looks like all of the guys except for McDowell in this second group, since the commercial break, are going to be quicker.
He's in the green again.
Can he get off here?
I think he will. A little slower here, but maybe he gains it back.
Coming off a
He's coming back. Gonna gain it back. No. Man, that is close.
Second, Logano does it. Sweeps the poles at Darlington.
18-1 to a 19-0. It doesn't get much tighter than that. I thought off the top of the corner he would have the momentum down the straightaway and be able to get it done. Almost did. Parker.
Guys, you see the high fives down here for Joe Logano and this 22 team. Pretty pumped up about that one. Great lap.
I like winning a lot. That's what we all love to do. It's what we come here to do. And when you fire off in the playoffs, you want to have a good start of it. And this pit stall here is so important. It really helped us win the race here in the spring. So it's nice to have that same pit stall again. Paul did a good job adjusting on our car from the spring race and even from practice as well to keep trying to find the speed and get a couple poles here in Darlington this year. So super proud of this Shell Pennzoil team and firing off and continuing the run that we're on. So got to keep it rolling.
Guys, you can tell pumped up this 22 team is the first to strike in the playoffs.
There you have it.
He said they were the favorites coming in, didn't he?
I
mean, he said he thought they should be. Yep. They considered themselves that. I love his confidence, and he backed it up right there so far.
We get asked before the playoffs start to pick our top, our final four, and he's in mine. I mean, this is a hard field to handicap because there's unknowns and inconsistencies, but I think they get there on his veteran experience.
He won the championship back in 2018, wants to start off with a bang here at Darlington. Logano on the pole. The field is set for the Southern 500. Joey Logano sweeps the pole for both the May and now the Labor Day weekend race. Christopher Bell will start outside of him. As we look a little bit deeper through the field, you see the playoff drivers. Ross Chastain back there in row 6. Austin Dillon, row 7. Bowman there in row 8. All the way back, you see Chase Briscoe back in row 10. Kevin Harvick back there as well. Chase Elliott, the furthest back of the playoff drivers.
Yeah.
As far as starting positions. And then, of course, Daniel Suarez with the issue of technical inspection. They actually have to start at the very back because they failed qualifying, or they failed the inspection 3 times, so they were not able to qualify. Okay, so what did we see here? Joey Logano makes it look like he just won the first race, and he got the pole so far.
There's a lot that goes along with that, and maybe the most important thing, besides the pit selection, I think is the confidence that a driver has in his car. And, I mean, obviously he won the race here earlier this year, so I think that he goes in and starts this race tomorrow afternoon with more confidence than anyone else in the field.
Yeah, I think it's great for these guys to try to get stage 1 points, trying to hold that track position, that they now have. But it's confusing to me because all the guys that I thought were good didn't qualify well. Martin Truex Jr., Ross Chastain, Denny Hamlin, several guys that had great average speeds in the lap 10 and lap 15 averages weren't in the top 10 in qualifying. So I think we're going to have some comers and goers throughout this event, and I don't think we have a clear-cut favorite. Joe Logano was nowhere near the top of the sheet in practice, not really putting up a lot of great laps, goes out there, gets the pole, and he's good enough to be able to maintain that track position. So it's going to be hard for some of these guys coming from the back. Chase Elliott, like, what kind of race car does Chase have?
Right.
We still can you still count him out? No, not at all. But they have yet to really show any of the speed we expect to see from those guys.
So, Steve, as a crew chief now, you're scratching your head trying to figure out what you're doing if you're not starting up at the top 10?
Well, I think this is a track you scratch your head at all the time. The biggest challenge here is just not a lot you can do from pit road to help your driver other than have a fast race car. So, Joe Logano did win the momentum award by sitting on the pole and having that good first pit stall, but I kind of agreed with what you guys were saying about the back half. Daniel Suarez is definitely behind, going to have to start this race almost a lap down, maybe a lap down by the time he serves his penalty. But Chase Elliott, that is uncharacteristic for this 9 car to start all the way in the back. It may be no story, no issue at all. But just remember tomorrow, if there's an issue early and the 9 gets caught up into it, this is the guy that had the biggest head start heading into the playoffs. He doesn't want to give that head start up in the first week. So far, it hasn't hurt them, Parker, but no one wants to start back there. Turn 1 here, very narrow to get the race going.
Yeah, it is. It's tough in traffic. And one thing I have in my mind as a driver is what are they all doing now? Well, they're doing the same thing a lot of them told me they did this week leading up. They were looking at the SMT data of that 22 car and Joey Logano, especially in qualifying trim. As you heard Christopher Bell say, they noted seeing that he could almost go flat out through there, that they could possibly do that in qualifying. We saw the speeds pick up throughout qualifying here, especially in that second round. I think a lot of drivers are looking at what Joey Logano is doing in that 22 car around here from practice, as what he did on the short run there and on the long run, because he obviously has found something special in this next-gen car to be so fast here twice this year. I just think that 22 car is setting the standard right now, and you have a lot of teams and drivers going to be looking at what he's doing.
Logano wins the pole for tomorrow's race, but today, countdown to green. Things will get underway for the Xfinity Series at 2:30, 3 o'clock, Xfinity Series Racing. NASCAR America post-race show at 5:30, race for the championship. All right, guys, favorites for the Xfinity race?
Couple of Cup guys in there with Larson, Christopher Bell. Can those regulars beat them?
I like Noah Gragson.
Okay.
Fast here.
They have been very fast. Junior Motorsports. There's more NASCAR coverage always available on NBCSports.com. It's Austin Dillon's Life in the Fast Lane right now.